Hello everybody, this is Snarist, and welcome back to the continuation of my Devil May Cry 3 hard difficulty walkthrough with no upgrades, no items, and playing on yellow mode as Dante. And after getting some breakfast in me and clearing my throat up, I'm ready to do some more commentary. And this is one of the tougher missions you'll find if you do this challenge run in particular, because not only do you have so little health, but your health is constantly draining, or you have to keep fighting enemies over and over again until you get help from them, because pretty much every enemy drops green orbs. And for the most part, this isn't so bad as Dante, but with Virgil it was definitely a pain in the ass to do, to where I had to kind of mess around with the challenge run stipulations just a little bit to make it a little bit easier on myself. So yeah, this is pretty standard, just keep fighting the enemies like normal. You can feel free to style on them if you want as well. I don't bother with the guys on the platform, although I think there's going to be one of the exploding demons on the other platform as well, on the other wagon. So the next fight after this is going to be in that pillar room where we fought the Reaper and those weird squid things in the previous mission. And it's not so bad, it's just there's a lot of open spaces and there's a lot of these red dudes that run around and jump everywhere. And because they're so aggressive now, especially on hard difficulty, they tend to not be very easy to pin down, especially in such a wide open area, and they can attack from off screen sometimes. Now the section after that, you could technically run by it if you want to, but if you were to run by and skip that section, where there'd be a ton of gargoyles in a hallway, it's definitely a risk to take because you won't have that much left over, because the gargoyles in the room after that, in the gear room, is so annoying to fight that you end up losing more health than you gain health, so it's almost worth just skipping it entirely. But what I'll end up doing is using the spiral and ebony and ivory to great effect, and I can show you guys a way to get some quick health back if you need it. So if your health is lower than what mine is, just hit that statue and go down and pick up the green orb down there. And it's more or less the same with combat, just fighting some more enemies. And I'll talk more about that gargoyle hallway I mentioned. Now Trickster is at level 2, and that's good. That's all we'll really need. Swordmaster, I don't really need that at level 2, although I think I will be using it a couple of times throughout these missions. But otherwise I'm going to be mixing it up between Royal Guard and Trickster. Because on hard difficulty a lot of enemies don't take that many hits to kill. So it's no problem for me to just stick with the regular Trickster, just so I have a way to evade attacks. But I think you'll find as well that I don't really use the evade on Trickster all that much, which is a really strange thing. And what I mentioned before about the gargoyles is that in this room coming up, if you don't know how to fight them properly, then you'll lose more health than you gain it back trying to fight them, but there is a way you can easily overcome them. But then when you get after that and you get to the gear room, by the way, if you want to know how to do that, you need to jump directly onto the enemies, but you need the right trajectory, the right angle, because if you don't, then you're not going to get it. If you can, try to kill the last enemy near the door as much as possible, and this is what I mean here. So you want to run to the very end of the hallway, because if I were to run through and skip the sequence and skip the gear room, then I would have no health left to fight the final area before we get rid of the Haywire Generator. So aim for one of the gargoyles at the back and try to catch them all in a line. Now if you're fast enough you can kill these guys with just a spiral alone before you run out of health, but I'm getting pretty low on health, so I'm just going to go ahead and deal with what I got. Now technically I can still hit them from here and keep them off screen so they're passive. But I'm getting my health back, I'm doing it right. And technically I do end up with more health by the end of this than I did before, but it's still not a lot. So I've definitely done that section there a lot more gracefully than I have in the past before. Now because these statues are easy to deal with Dante compared to Virgil, I do actually end up fighting them in this playthrough here, but with Spiral this becomes so much easier to deal with. So I managed to get them all in the line, and I'm just going to take the risk of running my health down dry, just so I can get them all together and low enough on health that I can smack them all out in one go, and my health's back to full. So with no upgrades, this section can be a little hard to navigate, so you want to move directly towards that platform and just double jump up towards it by bouncing off the wall, and then using Trickster to just dash yourself across the open gaps, because that room's really hard to navigate when you've got no upgrades and the camera's just blowing up and being awkward. So enemies behind you are going to be spawning as well. If you can, try to take them out first, and then you may end up hitting the Reaper just by happenstance. But the other tricky thing is, you know, sometimes the Reaper can do his teleport and hit you and wear down your health despite your increased defense with double trigger active. You still need to aim for the little guys because they're going to get your health back. Target the red ones as much as you can if you've got the health to do it, because they're going to be running all over the place and dashing back and forth. Use Trickster better than what I'm doing right now. But he's finally dead. And so now we can, because if you kill him, then he'll give you a green orb that gives you all your health back. And when that happens, just start wailing away on these enemies. So there's still plenty of them to kill, meaning that, you know, you want to try and aim to have the Reaper killed just as all the other enemies are killed as well. Run back towards the green door, go on through it. And now we're halfway through the mission. And you just carry on through here. You ignore the second Jester fight you can do. There is an item there, but I'm not going to be using it. Just wander downstairs, go through the door, and then you'll get to the Geryon boss fight, which, judging by the time, this definitely took me a little while to do. And this is going to be the real test, at least for Dante. Because I'm still going to be using Spiral and Ebony and Ivory and doing the shot cancels. Now, on hard difficulty, he's going to be throwing out hand grenades. Back here, you're mostly pretty safe, but you want to jump off of the wall and get as much height as you can and use Ebony and Ivory to balance yourself. Now, after the initial grenade cluster, he's going to start charging forward, and you can get a couple of spiral shots off usually. Don't move too far back, because when you jump up, even at your height, you'll find that when Geryon goes upwards and disappears, he can still hit you. So just keep as far back as you can now, because he'll stop halfway on the bridge if you keep far away, and the grenade clusters won't be able to hit you. And you can just basically just spam the Spiral and Ebony and Ivory. You can keep away from his time stop, and you can continually lock him into this. But the problem is he's now going to move forward a bit further, and these grenades can still possibly hit you. So now I'm just going to jump against the wall. And I was very lucky not to get hit there. I should have, absolutely. But he's almost going to go down. If you wait long enough, then he'll have quite a bit of health, but he'll still fall down anyway. But whatever damage you can get straight away. Now, if you're quick enough, you can run and jump on top of the horse and keep smacking him until he falls over, or you can jump on top of him and jump on top of the wagon. But otherwise, what I'm doing right here is a bit of a risk. If anything, the best thing to do is just to wait till he stops when he goes in the middle, but keep away, because he does like a sweeping, like a drift. And with all these grenades coming down, you'll want to get away from them. Now, Trickster is really good just to avoid this attack, because that fire cluster right there, if it sprays outwards, then the next time it's going to collapse inward. And it's not really much of a difference, it's still the same sort of, you know, jump and dodge with Trickster sort of move. If you use Swordmaster, you're definitely going to have an easier time dealing with attacking the horse. But the best thing you can do, without Dante's extensive moveset, if you're just playing like vanilla, it basically is, move away from the horse, but move to the outside so you can get up to him. And it's a little tricky to get the timing on getting on the carriage. That's why it's best just to wait till he gets into the middle. And when he does, jump on top of the horse, then jump on top of the carriage and just keep smacking the carriage. That way he'll take you for a ride. And you're pretty much invincible to everything. And sometimes when you're whacking at the carriage, when you're on top of it, it can get a little bit awkward trying to move about. Especially trying to get on there. Or other times he'll just do that where he disappears and you don't get much of a chance to hit him at all. I don't like this boss fight at all, and when you have no upgrades you really feel it. It's definitely one of the tougher sections of the game, especially since this can take a long time to beat him, and if you fail and you follow the yellow mode stipulation that I've got, then you're going to end up going right back to the beginning. So I go on top of the carriage, I'm just mixing up my combos. and he's going to go through it on a trip around the thing so I can get some free damage. Be careful, but make sure you've got spare devil trigger handy for whatever situation you want, just to either take a hit or run away or anything. And you want to be careful not to get too greedy with your combos, because some attacks, some weapons like Agni and Rudra, or even Beowulf, they can force you off the carriage at times, and you end up falling down the side, and it'll nick you on the edge. Now these red orbs will slow down time, and will create these spears that will surround you. And yeah, I just don't like this fight at all. It sucks. It's so bad. It takes forever to kill this boss. He's got so many weird moves, and you've got no chance to combo him. It's almost like the only fast way you can actually deal with Geryon is to use Beowulf jump cancel. That's more of an exploit than an actual move. And you see, like that, sometimes you'll get knocked off just at random. So if you time the jumping just right, you can just single jump over the horse and land on the carriage. It definitely is possible, but it's really hard to get the timing on it. Yeah, I have a lot more luck with it here than I did with Virgil, but with Virgil I had my own technique that I managed to get some mileage out of. If you had Swordmaster, it would be a lot easier, just to keep smacking Geryon right here, but I believe the first time I did this no upgrade run, like last year on the PS5, I think that's what I used. By the way, if you find yourself getting stuck in time stop, just make sure you hit the button for Trickster so that you can give yourself some iframes while the horse goes by you, and you should be alright. But otherwise, pretty much every attack this thing does takes a lot of your health away. This is more or less what you have to do. Just wait till it gets into the middle and keep smacking away at it. Sometimes it'll go up into the air and disappear. Sometimes it'll do this and slow your descent and mess you up. It's just something that has to be tolerated. And if you can find time to do it, wait until he stops and just keep spamming Ebony and Ivory and Spiral when he stops throwing the grenades, but then get ready for the wall of flame that he uses. And then after he stops doing that, you're pretty much free to use Spiral whenever you want. So I'm still almost dead here. There's more of that time stop bullshit. And funnily enough, this is like the only boss fight I can think of where if you don't lock onto him and you don't keep following him wherever he goes, the camera doesn't automatically adjust. It does when he does that teleport attack thing, but for the most part, yeah. If you lose him, you've got to lock back onto him, otherwise you can't get to him again. And sometimes even when the camera's off of him and you're locking on, he won't lock on properly until you move the camera. It's the weirdest thing. And so I just want to finish him off quickly before I get killed here, because I'm pretty much one hit away from dying, and I do manage to get it. So yeah, fuck this boss fight, it's terrible. Definitely the worst part of this mission, and a big part of why I raged so much playing as Virgil in this section, because it's probably more painful than this. But that's the end of this mission. I'll see you guys in the next one, where thankfully the next string of missions is going to be very easy all the way up to chapter 18, where that one's definitely going to give you a run for your money, I reckon. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.